Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of The Room, the podcast brought to you by LFC Transfer Room. I'm joined today by one of the co-owners of LFC Transfer Room, Dan, who's becoming a regular on the show now. How are you, Dan?
We're doing great. This is like my fourth or third appearance in the week already in the channel and the podcast, so I'm actually getting used to this. I like it. How you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm happy. I'm good. Good to see you, Dan. Good to see you spreading your wings onto the screen.
Like it.
Yeah, good to see you finally doing some work on this empire that you've built. And I'm joined, obviously, by Chris, who is all over the place, aren't you, Chris? You've really got your fingers in a lot of pies. Yeah, you are. You're doing really well.
My fingers in so many pies, Ritchie. Steak and kidney, chicken and mushroom, and all of the writing and podcasting stuff. I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good. It's a good, happy day. Stevie G is managing in the Premier League. I've not felt so happy in a long time, mate. It's just good vibes today.
Yeah, there's certainly an exciting vibe. Maybe a slight anticipating vibe as well going on. So we will get into the Stevie G chat later. But first, I'm going to hand straight back over to Chris, who has a roundup of our transfer news.
I certainly do, mate. I certainly do. And there's a lot of transfer news going around, especially because the fact is it's only November. There's so much stuff still going on in Liverpool that isn't going on with transfers. The first one is that comes from the Daily Mail. Says Jorge Mendes wants Fabio Carvalho to move to Liverpool. Obviously, super agent Jorge Mendes and Fulham's Fabio Carvalho. He scored 4 goals in his first 6 games in the N-Power. I was about to say N-Power Championship, like it's 2011 in the Sky Bet Championship. Liverpool, apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano, love Arnaud Danjuma. Jurgen Klopp, a particular admirer. The former Bournemouth winger has scored 5 goals in 10 for Villarreal this season. According to El Nacional, numero 3, Liverpool might pounce at the chance to sign OUSMANE Dembele from Barcelona. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp, another long-term admirer of him. Bremer, centre-back from Torino. He was linked back in January when Liverpool were going crazy for every centre-back on the market. Apparently, he's available for £15 million, according to Torino Granata. Tottenham are also in the race for the Brazilian. And finally, Newcastle apparently wanted Michael Edwards, according to the Northern Echo. But Paul Joyce, a reliable Liverpool journalist, has said there is no job for Michael Edwards.
Awesome.
So yeah,
anything in there that takes your fancy, I suppose. Anything in there?
I mean, I really like João Carvalho. I don't know if everyone's a regular watcher of the EFL, but the way that he started this season has been impressive. He clearly doesn't want to sign a contract at Fulham. He also scored in the Premier League last season. People forget about that. 1 goal he scored against West Bromwich Albion. But yeah, no, not against West Brom. He scored against Southampton, in a 3-1 defeat. But no, he's a really, really class player, and I think he could develop really well under Jurgen Klopp.
And supposedly also, I haven't really watched him, but it's just huge the fact that Jorge Mendes is his agent. You know, Jorge Mendes doesn't really have any average or below average players. His players tend to be just top class. So if we can get him, especially in a free because his contract is running out, is really good. Another one that I really liked was that I'm actually obsessed with is all the Danjuma rumors. We all know we were linked with him this summer actually, or the past summer. I really wasn't a huge fan. I just saw him a couple times when he played against Liverpool, and then I wasn't really impressed. But of course, once he got his desired move to a top European side like Villarreal, he's now shining for both Netherlands and La Liga. So I'm watching his videos every week because supposedly every week he comes with something crazy, a new dribble, something new, and I really like this guy. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I didn't mind him at Bournemouth. I think in the Championship, the year that we were linked, I remember we were talking about him because we thought, oh, he might be a deadline day signing. And I remember being on the podcast talking about him, and he scored 15 goals in 33 games in the Championship, which is, I know it's a Championship, but it's still not bad. You know, it's still a good haul. So I remember, talking about him then. I think he's 24 years old as well. And it is an area where we need to strengthen. That being said, he's Nigerian. and we do have an AFCON coming up. So whether or not that's any use for us, we'll have
He's
to
Dutch,
see
mate.
in January.
He's Dutch.
No, he's Dutch.
Born
He's
in
Dutch.
Nigeria. Sorry, yeah. Born in Nigeria. So ignore my comment. It's fine. Born in Nigeria.
We'll cut that one out.
we're just suffering with
been a long
AFCON
day.
so much.
It's been a
We're
long
suffering
day.
with them, We're just panicking after every player because AFCON is so close.
It is. It's just over everyone's head, AFCON.
And I'll tell you what, talking of Dan Juma, he balled against Man United. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched Man United against Villarreal. He was so impressive. And any player who plays well against Man United is an interest of mine. So, I love a bit of Arnie Dan Juma.
But before, when he was, excuse my pronunciation, but when he was at Bournemouth, did I say it right, Ritchie? Come on.
Nearly.
Close.
Close. Yes, but when he was there, I mean, he wasn't really making a huge impact in the Dutch national team. After he got his move to Villarreal, he's suddenly becoming a regular starter, and he's doing so good. So, I mean, maybe that's what he needed. That was that one step up that he needed to take. If he was at Liverpool, maybe he wouldn't be, playing as much, and maybe he wouldn't be starting as much for the national side. I mean, so who knows? Maybe this was the right step. It actually looked like it was the right step.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting regular game time at Villarreal. We wouldn't have had that at Liverpool, would he? So yeah, absolutely. And then the last thing that we mentioned was obviously Michael Edwards, and in the news, as Chris quite rightly said, the ever reliable Paul Joyce from the Times, he was linked to Newcastle. We all know that he's resigning at the end of the season. He's going to be replaced by Julian Ward, who is assistant sporting director at Liverpool currently, and has been since 2020. So he's been working. You would have thought Julian Ward would have come in to step into Michael Edwards' shoes. That's the way that FSG works. They always have a plan and sort of a protege underneath somebody else. So, I mean, I'm quite glad that he's not going to Newcastle, because we know the damage that Michael Edwards can do for a football club. He's the one who's brought this current crop of players in, apart from perhaps Jordan Henderson. So, to see Michael Edwards not go to another Premier League club, especially one that's going to have more money than all the clubs in the world combined, can only be good news for Liverpool. Again, it's one of those that he's 42. Surely this is not the end of Michael Edwards, but it's very exciting to see Julian Ward step up, because FSG hold no sentiment, and this will bring us on to Steven Gerrard, I'm sure, in about 10 minutes. But he must be the right man for FSG to appoint him as well. So I think Liverpool are going to be left in a good situation.
It's good to remember all the good deals that the master deals that Michael Edwards did. I mean, I know you guys remember the Felipe Coutinho deal. He inserted that clause that said that Barcelona couldn't get any players from us for at least, was it 4 years or 3 years? And if they wanted to, they had to pay an incredible fee of like 150 million plus the signing fee or something like that. He also did wonders with the Virgil van Dijk deal that we wanted so much. We stayed there, persistent. He managed to get players like was it Sadio Mane for 35 million that we spent?
Mane, Salah, Robertson, Mo Salah, Robertson, Mane.
Firmino. Even
we're not going to talk about the Oxlade Chamberlains or maybe the Marco Grueges. Well, no.
Can we not have any Oxlade Chamberlain slander? I thought I was safe this week.
I mean, but regardless, it wasn't a bad fee. Was it 25 million that we paid for Ox?
It was 40 million, but we won't go
Oh my god. Actually, let's just cross that one out of the list. Everything else that Michael Edwards did for Liverpool during the club era, and even before the club era, has been huge. So if he does move to Newcastle, or if he does move to RB Leipzig, like reports from Sport Bill were saying, or the reports from the Northern Echo saying that he Newcastle wanted him, then good for him. He's going to have the money, he's going to have the resources, and now we'll be able to see the real Michael Edwards in action.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle are a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. That's if they don't get relegated. That is obviously this season, but that's another story for another day. But I think Newcastle, looking again at this report, Michael Emano is being interviewed, who is the former Chelsea and Monaco sporting director at the moment as well. So it looks like they've got their eyes set somewhere else anyway. But yeah, I mean, thoughts on Julian Ward? I mean, we don't know too much about him, because you're not supposed to know too much about him. That was the whole point of it. But for me, it's an inside appointment, which surely can only mean that he's ready for it, because FSG wouldn't make an internal appointment. They would look elsewhere if he wasn't ready. So for me, it looks like, as I said, Liverpool are in good hands with Julian Ward.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm just looking at some quotes now on Mike Gordon. I don't know if you guys actually read Michael Edwards' open letter, but he said Mike Gordon is one of the lads who's right behind the scenes. Apparently, he doesn't sleep, according to Michael Edwards. And he said, in this regard, I firmly believe that in Julian Ward, we are fortunate to have a leader already within our structure, and I'm excited of the prospect of continue to work with him. That's all you need to know. I mean, as you mentioned, Ritchie, I think FSG promote from within. They might do the same within the managerial structure. We'll talk about managers afterwards after this. But yeah, I think that, you know, in modern football, a sporting director is arguably as important as a manager, and to have a good sporting director is vital to a successful club. And Michael Edwards is the best out there. Hopefully, Julian Ward learns a lot from him, and he can be just as good.
It is safe to think or to assume that a good job for Michael Edwards could be the job at Barcelona, especially today, because there were new reports coming from Mundo Deportivo saying that Barcelona's sporting director is set to step down from his role, and he's supposedly he's highly rated in Spain. His name is Ramon Planes. It should be Planes when you read it, but it's in Spanish. I guess it's Planes. But he's highly rated, and it looks like he could be destined for a move to Newcastle. That being said, I mean, Michael Edwards at Barcelona could also do wonders. But back to the Julian Ward topic. Sorry, guys, I just feel like I needed to plug that in. But it's great. We were talking about it yesterday on the YouTube stream. By the way, guys, if you have a chance, check it out. But it's been said that we've been working for almost a year preparing Julian Ward for the role, because they already anticipated Michael Edwards leaving. So he worked with Klopp, he worked with Michael Edwards, and it seems by everybody, it seems like he's the perfect man. So we should be in safe hands. Plus, Julian Ward has some experience with the youngsters, right? He worked for academy deals and loan deals, I think it was, before stepping up his role to sporting director eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the big news, obviously, today, though, is the Steven Gerrard to Aston Villa. And Chris alluded to it earlier. He's very excited to see him in the Premier League. Chris, just give us your thoughts, I suppose, before Dan and I weigh in on Steven Gerrard back in the Premier League, back where he belongs.
I mean, I'll put this out to the audience as well, but how perfect is this move? I couldn't think of a better place for Steven Gerrard to be in terms of where a club is and how big a club are. Aston Villa are historically one of the biggest clubs in England. They're European champions 1982, multiple times champions of England. You know, they've got such a massive fan base, same as Rangers. You know, it's all preparing Steven Gerrard for Liverpool. I think it's quite arrogant, though, of us to believe that, you know, Aston Villa is a stepping stone, because it's such a big club, and their aims will be high. You know, you look at the likes of West Ham and Leicester in recent years; they will want to be the next West Ham, the next Leicester, and you know, a lot of money's been pumped into the Premier League. Aston Villa are I think the 5th richest club in the Premier League now, which is ridiculous, and it's great to have Gerrard. He's got a budget in January to spend. I think he'll bring in players that he knows, and also bring in players that he'll be investing in, that, you know, other clubs will be looking at in January. But yeah, honestly, it really has cheered me up. It's been a hell of a day. I'll be rooting for Aston Villa every time they don't play Liverpool. In every way, I just hope in the way that I rooted for Rangers. So yeah. Good vibes only. Stevie G back in the Premier League and back at Anfield on the 11th of December.
Oof, it's going to be an important one. Also, I feel like it's just huge, the fact that Gerrard is moving to, well, his second club is going to be a club that is a former Champions League winner. Am I right?
Yeah, one of those absolutely. More Champions League titles than Manchester City.
I knew that was coming. So it's just meant to be, you know. Just like Chris said, this is not a stepping stone, because Aston Villa is a huge side. The talent that they have, I mean, the squad that they have, we already spoke about it yesterday on YouTube, but The players that they have, I mean, they're just top class. Tyron Minks, Emi Buendia. We were naming Bailey. We're naming Watkins. All these top players. It just seems, and they're all young too. So it just seems like the perfect move for Stevie. And this is the best time too, because yes, they're close to relegation, but I mean, there's more than enough time for them to turn things back around. It might be a tight spot where Stevie is trying to avoid relegation, but he has the January transfer window up ahead. He can do. He has more than enough time because we have an international break too, for him to know the players and stuff. So it's just perfect. I'm just so happy to finally have Captain Fantastic back in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's it's certainly, I mean, I know we shouldn't see it as a stepping stone, but I think as soon as Steven Gerrard went into management, we always said or thought, well, it was like when Kenny retired, we know that he's going to go in to manage Liverpool, and it's the same sort of understanding that I think we have with Steven Gerrard, and it will be exciting to see. And it's a massive audition. That's exactly what this is. It's an audition for him to see if he can succeed in the Premier League. And as Dan quite rightly said, Aston Villa have not been that great this year, as in the calendar year. That being said, I think he's extremely safe with relegation because, a relegation dogfight, it often is summarised by you don't have to outrun the bear, you just have to outrun the other campers. And there's a lot of campers in that Premier League that are very, very slow runners. So I think he'll be absolutely fine in that relegation fight. But again, it's going to be what style. I think a lot of it will come down to what style of football can he bring to Aston Villa, because they've got some phenomenal attackers. You mentioned a few. He's got Danny Ings to come in as well. I think Danny Ings is going to be absolutely on fire when Steven Gerrard gets a hold of him, perhaps. So he brought excitement to Rangers. He stopped the rot at Rangers. He stopped the Celtic 10. So yeah, we'll see. But it is a huge audition. My only concern is that if he cannot deliver at Aston Villa, and we're not talking Champions League football at Aston Villa. I think we have to be realistic within the 2.5 years that he's signed. Coincidental, Klopp's contract runs out in 2.5 years at Liverpool, but again, a story for another day. I think though what are Aston Villa? They must be looking surely at top 7, top 6 with the backing that they've got and with the squad that they've got. So I think a lot of things will come down to, what style of football can he bring? Will he fit that FSG mold? Because let's not forget, FSG will not just appoint Steven Gerrard because he's Steven Gerrard. FSG are a business. They want that top 4 football. They want consistent Champions League because that's what makes Liverpool Football Club valuable as a commodity. And if Gerrard's not going to, bring that to a club, they're not going to appoint him. And it's simple as that. There will be no sentiment left. Can I see Steven Gerrard succeeding Jurgen Klopp? That's a very, very difficult question. Because 2.5 years, can he prove his worth to be a Liverpool manager in 2.5 years? Could anybody? Coming after Jurgen Klopp is really big. So again, Chris alluded to it earlier. There is one certain Pep Lijnders, who I think I would probably make favourite right now to be promoted from within. I mean, I don't know if you lads want to mention anything about Pep Lijnders, but I've only been impressed with his press conferences, with his philosophy of football. I've only ever been impressed since day one with him.
Let's not forget, though, Jurgen Klopp came into Liverpool manager, a Champions League finalist and double Bundesliga winner and whatever else he won with Borussia Dortmund. He was a world-class manager that came in there. And I don't know whether FSG will continue with that. Look, I love promoting within. I love the boot room model. We all know that Liverpool's history relies on that. With the built on the foundations of Shankly, of Paisley, of Fagan, of Evans, of Dalglish in the end. But yeah, I can't see it. I think a lot of people have said, Lijnders or Gerrard. I wouldn't be surprised if Jurgen Klopp went and recommended another world-class manager to take over from him, one that's not too different from him. I hate to even talk about Steven Gerrard. I hate to talk about Jurgen Klopp leaving Liverpool because it feels so alien. It's been 6 brilliant years so far, but yeah. An Eric Ten Hag or, a Nagelsmann or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised, but also, Steven Gerrard's got 2.5 years, 3.5 years, whatever, to prove himself. Why the hell not, man? I'm all for Steven Gerrard.
Or
there
maybe
is
a Buvak. Was it Buvek, the assistant manager?
No,
from...
Mate, come on.
No, he's gone. He's definitely not.
He's
I
well
just
and
had
truly
to-
off.
Yeah, there is, however, though, one current Dortmund manager who could definitely do the business if he proves himself in 2.5 years, of Marco Rose, because he does look like the real deal. He has, maybe not this season. I think he needs a bedding in period, but he's a manager who I look to and could get excited about as well. But I don't know, for Stevie, it's going to be huge, and all Liverpool fans would love absolutely nothing more than Jurgen passing that mantle to Steven Gerrard, and Steven Gerrard finally winning that well-deserved Premier League title as a manager, though, this time, and a European trophy to go with the one that he won as a player. There would be nothing better. The only thing that I fear, and this wouldn't happen because of FSG, I strongly believe that we have better leadership than Abramovich and better leadership than the Glazers, but I would hate to see Stevie go down the same route as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Frank Lampard, and he just gets it on sentiment. And I don't think it will happen because I've said it before, but that would be, for me, it's a completely paradoxical situation, because it's your dream to see Stevie win as a manager, the Premier League with Liverpool. It would also be one of your worst nightmares to see Steven Gerrard completely flop as a manager at Liverpool as well.
Absolutely, and I think
we mentioned on. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
Sorry. I think it was Matty, the one that was mentioning it on the group chat. Is if he fails in his new job, I mean, that basically means the Liverpool job is gone. Because if he doesn't do well now, Liverpool's not going to sign a manager to struggle in the Premier League, because we need someone able to do well in the Premier League, and that's what. And it's a risky one, because Pep Linders, despite working under Club, we don't really know how well he's going to do. All we've seen is he managed the young side of our squad in the Carabao Cup and things like that. But one thing I do want to mention is that despite Pep Linders being the understudy of Jurgen Klopp, we have forgotten that Stevie G has actually adapted his tactics and formations to Jurgen Klopp. If you watch the Rangers side, they play a 4-3-3 with two fast-paced wingers, and then they have one defensive midfielder in the middle. They also use the pressing style that Jurgen Klopp uses, and the fullbacks, they also go forward. So it's a very similar style and tactics that Stevie G has adapted his play to, so his game. So it's going to be an easy transition regardless if we move to Pep or Gerrard later. It's just a matter of, will Stevie G be able to prove his worth in the Premier League? We shall see.
It's an interesting one. It really seriously is. And honestly, I don't know. People say that Gerrard needs to prove himself, but doesn't Pep Linders need to prove himself as well? I don't think we can tar them with different brushes.
Yeah, but Pep has been working for 2 years under Club, though, so we know he's perfectly molded into that mini club.
And you also don't know what's going to happen the next 2 years, where maybe Jurgen Klopp is winding down and he does hand over more responsibility. It's far easier to transition from Pep Linders, because he's known that system and Klopp could give him that responsibility, and he's working day in, day out with him. It'll be far easier to keep that system. But you never know. Liverpool want, they might want a complete overhaul. In 2.5 years, the worst thing could have happened, and we do fall out of the top four. And we do need a complete overhaul, and why would you carry on playing the same way if you do need an overhaul? So it depends a lot on what we're doing. I generally think as well that if somebody isn't ready to take over and the Germany job isn't there, then I can see Klopp extending even further. If the appeal's there and he's still doing well at Liverpool, because unless he's going back to Mainz or perhaps Dortmund, again, maybe perhaps being a bit too romantic, but it's football. You have to be romantic about sport and about football. I can only see him going to the German national team. And obviously, Hansi Flick's just got the job there. That was his dream, to get the job there. And he's young. He's got youth on his side as well. So unless Germany completely bomb out in Qatar or completely bomb out in the Euros, he's going to stay as German manager. So, maybe Klopp will extend as well.
Oh, mate, I want to say you're right. I really, really do. I really want to say that Klopp will stay for 15, 20 years. I honestly, I just think he'll be knackered by that time. Michael Edwards said in his statement that 10 years was his maximum. He believes that change is necessary for humans and the way that we work. And I believe the same for Jurgen Klopp, man. I think he will be gone by 2024. And, all power to him, because he's been such an unbelievable servant. I mean, if you think about it, it'll be 9 years by the time that he finishes. That's alien for managers these days. That's alien numbers. You know,
It'll be his
when is the
longest serving club, won't it, as well? I think Liverpool will be his longest serving club.
When is the next World Cup? 2025? After, of course, the one coming up.
It'll be 2020. It'll be 2020.
5, 6.
I don't know. So, yeah, 26.
Because if this one is in 2021, where I'm trying to go is
but it's supposed to be a summer World Cup, isn't it? But they moved it, I think, so it should be 2026.
So it could be the perfect timing,
but
Jurgen Klopp could take his sabbatical year off, go to the Germany side, start playing around. We never know, but that will be a topic for another day.
Another day.
So, Jurgen can certainly leave with his head held high. The best thing to happen to Liverpool Football Club probably since Steven Gerrard. So there you go. There's a nice little tie-in to end our podcast. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much for Dan and Chris as well, for entertaining me, I suppose. And hopefully all three of us have entertained you. So thank you for joining us again. And we'll see you again very, very soon. But until then, as always, up the Reds.
Up the Reds.